King Geo says, I love you, Grant, but when will you acknowledge me as the one who told you about Hufanga? You're still my guy, though. Hey, everyone who said Hufanga was good, you're right, I'm wrong, you're smart, I'm stupid, you're good looking, I'm not attractive. Good stuff. I don't know why I ever doubted him. Larry T says Juice might be the 2021 Debo pivot this year. I love the way they use Juice today. Good for Kyle, good for Juice. That's got to be there every week. You can't do that once a month. He's too good. Miguel says Niners need to make a move and get a player on offense to get them over the hump like a Kareem Hunt, wide receiver, O-line. They might. But right now, it looks like a lot of their players that they're going to get back are just dudes that are injured. Jonathan says elite defense, but offense was just smoke screens. I would hope Kyle uses more of his receivers, spread the ball around. Where was Jordan Mason defense? Yeah, but I mean, you saw, like, the Rams offense sucks. The Niners defense is great, and the Niners offense just needed to not lose the game. You don't have to do too much, just don't lose the game. And they didn't lose the game, which they've done in the past. They lost the game last week. Jeff Wilson Jr. looks like he's recovering pretty well. Gotta love Jeff Wilson Jr., man. Easy to root for. Finally, some creativity, Kyle. Hell yeah. Especially after the script. He had some good stuff in the second half. Sheridan says we have an elite defense, but it'll get even better once Jimmy Ward gets back in the game. The safety duo of Ward and Hufanga is going to be scary. Yeah, and then what if Jason Verrett comes back? What about when Eric Armstead's 100% healthy? Javon Kinlaw, Elijah Mitchell, Trent Williams. I mean, this team could get a lot better than it was tonight. Ricky Miranda says, I know Jimmy Ward coming back soon, but Tashawn Gibson making it hard to give the job back. I mean, how deep is this team? Also, Jimmy Ward, he came on my channel a year ago, and said, why are the Rams getting rid of Jared Goff? He's better than Matthew Stafford. Well, he's having a better year than Stafford this year. So I'm just saying. Stafford looks like a definite downgrade from Jared Goff now. At least he got that ring. Silence TL says, what team is actually going to score a TD when Ward and Verrett come back? In all actuality, this is the best defense, pulling 80% of the share. Yeah, that's why I wanted to start the show talking about the defense, because it looks like it's an all-timer. So they deserve their flowers. Tyler Trolson says, hey, Grant, first live game I've been to in my 37-year life. Huff's pick six had the crowd going crazy. Debo must have had some butter on him, too. Debo definitely put Crisco all over his body. It's hella funny. Neil says, Tart should have been like Ward and listened to you. I tried to tell him. Some Bobby Turner influence out there. They had a great run plan to start off. The Rams want to put 5 and 6 on the D-line. All right, well, the Niners are going to put 3 tight ends on the D-line. So you have an 8-man front. That just widens out the Rams D-line, puts more space between the defensive linemen. And then on top of that, they would have these jet sweep blockers like Kittle kicking out the edge guy. It didn't work all the time, but it created some big plays. The long run for Jeff Wilson Jr. That was nice. Flav says Jimmy's improvement between start 1 and start 2 was crazy. Wonder who saw that coming. Niners minus 2.5 was the lock of the year. Value on Jimmy like that doesn't come around very often. What, because he didn't step out of the back of the end zone, throw a pick, and fumble the ball? That was a big improvement. I mean, he managed the game. Are we supposed to throw Jimmy a parade because he didn't commit a turnover? Like, great, man. You didn't ruin a game with the best defense in the league for a change. I mean, look, I gave him a passing grade, but can we stop talking like he was great today? He was good enough. I would call good enough C+. Some people would call good enough B+. It doesn't really matter. But let's not act like that was a Pro Bowl performance. Talanoa Hufanga had a Pro Bowl performance. Deebo Samuel had a Pro Bowl performance. Dre Greenlaw, Pro Bowl performance. Jimmy Garoppolo, good enough. And that's all you want from him. Russell J says Kyle used juice with Deebo in the backfield on an obvious Deebo play. Finally, the creativity we're used to in the past. Hey, shouts out to Kyle. He probably got more skepticism this week than ever before. A lot of people, including me, saying, hey, Mike McDaniel's better than you. Well, Mike McDaniel's stock is way down after that debacle with Tua that McDaniel could have definitely prevented, and Kyle's stock is back up. So, shout out Kyle. Luis says recent Cohn head started as a hate watcher, LOL, but how do you invest so much in our team but never become a fan? Love you, Grant. You're a great journalist. Well, thanks, man. I mean, my dad was a journalist. I consider myself an old school journalist. I grew up in the industry. You don't root for the team you cover. Period. You just don't. If you do, your coverage is biased and not objective. And I try to be as objective as possible. not objective. That's not correct. I'm subjective. It's my opinion. But I try to be fair. If you're rooting for the team, I don't see how you can be fair. You want them to succeed. It's like you're pulling for. No, you have to be honest. You got to be honest. Lucas says, Grant, did you feel at some point Jimmy was going to screw it up? Yes! If we had a deep ball threat, we would win the Super Bowl, no doubt. Trey should have played last year. He threw 27 passes. I'm thinking if he throws more than 20 passes in a game, a pick is coming. So I was really impressed that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't throw a pick. It's the best thing he did in the game. It's by far the best thing he did in the game. The second best thing he did in the game was throw that pass to George Kittle that was incomplete because Kittle didn't get a second foot in bounds. That was the second best thing Garoppolo did in the game. But baby steps, man. Who cares? Don't go out there and try to prove that you're great. You're not. You're not. Just don't lose the game. Stafford lost it. That's huge. Because Stafford thinks he's really good, and he's not. Phil says, you said all offseason the Niners needed a playmaker in the secondary. Well, you got your answer. It's all-pro Huff. Hey! Sorry, Huff. I was wrong. Also, I really like that guy. I don't know if you saw him in his post-game presser, but he's extremely charming and mature and smart and engaging. So glad he's good and he's on the team, man. He's a dream. G-Code Travels Vlog POV says, great win. 2022 Niners look like 2011 Niners. Do you think Ray could hurt us in the future in kick returns? Kyle Williams 2.0. How could Kyle fit? That's a great call, man. That's 2 games in a row he's fumbled. He's a good punt returner, but not at the expense of the fumbles. So the Niners are going to have to figure that out. I think Ray's going to have to figure that out. Like, high and tight, buddy. Gregory Young says, glad to see Kyle use juice and D'Amico actually blitz and create chaos for our defensive line. Finally, some good calls all around. Now do this consistently. Yeah, I mean, do we all have to call you out and make fun of you all week and say that Mike McDaniel's better than you for you to do this? Maybe Bobby Turner was the real MVP today. Sean, thank you. Flav says, has Trey ever played better than Jimmy did tonight? Yeah, man. I mean, the offense scored 17 points. Are you really going to throw him a parade off that? What? I mean, he threw the ball up for an interception that Deebo Samuel snatched away from the DB and ran 57 yards. That was all Jimmy, right? And then he threw the ball to a wide open Juice. Those were the 2 plays he made. The throw to Kittle was nice. It didn't count. And then the best thing he did was not turn the ball over. Like, what do you want? 17 points? That's the exact same output they had in the NFC Championship game last year when they lost. The difference is the defense is better this year. So, Flav, man, I know you got a man crush on Jimmy and you got a fat head of him in your room and you have a little shrine of him in your closet. But, dude, why don't you give someone else some credit? Nees says Banks seem the least of the issues. Lynch, Dub, credit due. Yeah, I didn't see this coming at all. He was terrible in training camp. And he's like one-on-one in the training camp pass rush stuff. Awful. 11 on 11. Dude is above reproach. Better than Burford. Although Burford got benched, came back, and played well, which is amazing, too. Jonathan Chavez says, D'Amico Ryan's wow, adapting, improving, adding blitz. So good. So freaking good. Heresy says, Flav coming out of the shadows because Jimmy doesn't lose the game. It's hilarious. Aunt G says, Jimmy Army crawled last week. He walked this week, and all of a sudden he's a top 5 quarterback. He managed the game and let the defense and Deebo win the game. Yeah, that's his job. Can you please stop losing the game, Jimmy? You're like the worst starter on the team. Can you let the other 21 guys win the game without you being the reason they lose? Last week, he was the reason they lost in just a phenomenal defensive performance. This week, he did his job, which was be serviceable. Be Trent Dilfer. Please. He did it. Why do the Rams still play soft coverage? Clueless. Because their DBs are terrible. Other than freaking Bobby Wagner, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey, what do they have on their defense? Sheridan Milestone says Jeff Wilson looks good, but why doesn't Kyle mix in Jordan Mason so he doesn't run Wilson into the ground? Mason looked good in his 1 carry last week because I told him to play Jordan Mason, and Kyle Shanahan is stubborn. So we all have to use reverse psychology on Kyle from now on. Don't play Jordan Mason, whatever you do. Never give him the ball. Oh my! If heaven forbid you give Jordan Mason the ball, the season would fall apart. Diamador Lenore, great game. Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out to Diamador Lenore. King Gio says Super Bowl isn't a dream anymore. It's a reality. I wouldn't say it's a reality, but it's not it's a realistic goal. 49ers Cade says, imagine if Trey Lance can have a Funga development arc. I think he can based on his improvement each game. He just needs a coach as good as D'Amico Ryans. Pay raise for QC. Oh, that is so nice of you, Silence TL. Thank you. Flav, go check Grant with his dad's episode last week. I didn't go anywhere last week. I called this a lock, and people said I was nuts. I called them. I said they were going to win too, dude. That's great, man. Russell J says Flav loves irritating you. It's hilarious. I know. I like him, though. Hypnotic says rest of the NFL no stack box beats Jimmy. Rams inexplicably played off and let 5-yard dump-offs go yard. How sustainable is that really? Yeah, I mean, that defense without Von Miller and Eric Weddle does not look particularly good. That Rams team isn't going anywhere. Shout out the O-line missing Trent Williams. Yup. Godzilla says, hey, Grant, can I have a kiss? Absolutely. I would always kiss Godzilla. I mean, it's Godzilla. Omar Sanchez says, hey, Grant, love your work. Only complaint I have about tonight is that Kyle needs to grow a pair and go for it on 4th and goal on the 1-yard line. They could have put the game away if they scored a TD instead of settling on a field goal. Yeah, he could have put the game away. Instead, Talanoa did. Ryan's the head coach next year. Candidates to take over? Oh, Vic Fangio. I think it's pretty clear that Vic Fangio is like waiting for that job. He lives out here. Gregory Young says, shout out to the offensive line. No sacks. Aaron Donald got not getting blocked the one time was the closest he got to Jimmy. Job well done for our backup quarterbacks. It's always fun to see Aaron Donald get shown up and do nothing on national television because he's so arrogant. Joseph says, Huff and the defense are the real deal. Is Kyle unit ever going to be dominant like Ryan's unit? Great win, even though, despite Jimmy and Kyle. I don't think Kyle's going to have a dominant offense until he gets a dominant quarterback. And it seems like he's much more into backup quarterback, so I don't know. At least the defense is dominant. Flav T. Lance, 16-23, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. What a ridiculous question that was. Ricky Miranda says, do you put much stock into Burford's bad game today or chalk it up to a rookie going against one of the best D-linemen? He struggled early, got benched, came back, played well. So it seemed like he improved. James Hennessy says, if Jimmy could cook, it would be a stick of butter named Deebo Samuel, which is why we love it. That's so funny. Yair says Niners should fire Kyle and promote Ryan as head coach. Let's not fire anyone after a win over the Rams. You're right. He's going to get Wilson hurt. Yeah, man. Come on. It's obvious. Peter Ing says deep ball to Ray before the half should have gone to Danny Gray. Danny Gray's hurt, which is not great. I hope Bosa wins Defensive Player of the Year. I think he leads the league in sacks right now. He got cheated out of being CPO year last season. He definitely could. He's a leading candidate. He absolutely upstaged Aaron Donald tonight. Think Hufanga is the next Lott? No. Lott was a cornerback early in his career. Lott's one of the greatest athletes ever in the secondary. Could be the next Troy Polamalu, though. Jimmy picked up a huge first with his legs and also didn't get sacked. Why did we get Trey again? Because Jimmy's not good enough. Because Jimmy's like the 17th best quarterback in the league. And when he plays well, the best thing you can say is that he didn't throw a pick and he ran for 3 yards on 3rd and 2. It's the best thing he did. You know? He had a Trent Dilfer game today. Trent Dilfer won some big games too. Trent Dilfer deserved credit when he did that kind of stuff. What kind of goof would compare Trey to Jimmy negatively? The fact that you're comparing a 9th-year starter to a 2nd-year starter already says a lot. Clown! Lenore and defensive backs are playing great. The whole defense is playing great. Credit to O-line coaching, holding it together. Credit to all the coaches. Yeah, I think that C+ was pretty fair. Jesus M says Jimmy wasn't throwing off his back foot off balance, staying in the pocket. We had great protection. The ball was coming out quick. Rams were giving up quick passes. I think Givens playing better than Kinlaw. Givens a hell of a player. Danny Gray went healthy. Try him out at kick return. Yeah. Debo owned Jalen Ramsey all night. Love you, Grant. Love you too, Sheridan. Jalen Ramsey's overrated, man. He's good in coverage, but he couldn't tackle anyone tonight. Was tonight's O-line a fluke or actual development? The Niners always have a really good plan against the Rams. The ball comes out so quick, and the Rams don't do anything to make Jimmy Garoppolo hold the ball because they're just not – they're super overrated. Fonzie says, who has a better chance at DPO year, Hufanga or Bosa? Ooh. Probably Bosa off reputation, but Hufanga's right there. Debo is a wide back, and Kittle is an offensive end. Debo is not a wide back anymore. The running back Debo stuff doesn't work. He's much better as a wide receiver. Freddie says Flav has a mannequin with Jimmy's face that he lays with and rubs on like Tom. That's not nice. Flav's a good guy. He's just really having a great day. Pizza Diaper says, wow, no major injuries tonight. Still a few predictable plays that exposed Debo. Should have resigned. Mostert's drafted they did draft a running back in the 3rd round. It's hilarious. Josh Wyatt says, can we take a moment to thank the football guys for Chris Kasarik? They get great production for everyone they threw out there. Drake looks like the truth. Yep, I agree. Chris Kasarik, what a player. I'm really looking forward to this defense versus the Chiefs in 3 weeks, says Jay Bell. Yeah, hopefully the Niners defense can stay healthy. If the Niners could ever stay healthy, they just might win a Super Bowl. Daniel says, critical of Kyle, but today he called a perfect game other than 4th and 1. Needed to quarterback sneak, managed the clock, and played field position like Harbaugh. To be fair, on 4th and 1, from the press box, you could tell that it was really more like 4th and 2. It was a 4th and a very long one, and when the center, Brendel, held the ball on the ground, it was on the 2-yard line. So I understand Kyle not calling a quarterback sneak on that play. Go back and watch the All-22. You'll see what I'm saying. Pizza Diaper. Sorry, center in third, not running back. No running backs on the roster can get to the edge like Mostert except Debo, and Kyle knows it. Yeah, I still don't understand why they drafted Ty Davis Price because I don't think he can get to the edge either. But they did. Niner fan says, do you still prefer Womack over Lenore at the nickel or not really? I thought Lenore did pretty good. They're both good. I mean, they benched Womack after the Niners shut out Seahawks. Like, what did he do that was so bad? They gave up no points in that game. Only points the Niners gave up to the Seahawks were on special teams. So it seems like they have two good nickels. Yep, got you. Jimmy Ward, Kinlaw, Armstead, and Verrett injured. I know, man. There's so much talent that's coming back. Seth Harvey says, Flav, everyone who knows the Niners knew we're going to win. You're delusional, Grant. Later on in the season, Jimmy will let this insane defense down. Yeah, probably. But at least he didn't do it tonight. Can we just call Kyle a defensive coach? He's had a good defense and a feeble offense from day one. You're the one who calls him the common denominator. Yeah. Pretty much. But at least he did, the bare minimum tonight to complement the defense. His job is to complement the defense. He did that tonight. Jimmy's job is to not lose the game. He did that tonight. So I mean, I'm not going to criticize him too much. I'm really looking forward to this defense. Got you. The logical truth says, it is safe to say this is the Niners' best defense you've seen up to this point in the season. I don't know, man. Fangio had some great defenses in 14, in 11 and 12. Let's see. Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Alden Smith. It's up there. The blitz is great. Do you think teams will catch on? I think the reason it worked so well tonight is because the Rams had a third-string center who couldn't make any adjustments or communication calls. Bunless Hot Dog says, where's that Ramilia guy? He's worse than Flav after adversity. Give him a night. You know how you guys feel after losses. Peter says, who do you think will replace D'Amico if he leaves? Fangio. Banana hands until he gets a ring. Great win. Go Niners. I love it, Bryant. Yeah, don't let him off the hook. He does his best when he's doubted. Kittle is de facto left tackle until Trent comes back. Yes. Can't you get someone else to do that, though? I mean, come on. Still concerned how Kyle Shanahan can't put the game away offensively. 8-9 minutes to go. Ball on your own 45 and 3 straight runs. That's a great point. Let's talk about that because I noticed that. I mean, he had a chance to put the game away. Ray McLeod at a 22-yard punt return gave him the ball at their 45. Then freaking Debo bails him out with a 19-yard gain on 3rd and 13. Gives him the ball at the Rams 29. Run to Jeff Wilson, -1. Throw to Kittle, incomplete. Throw to Ayuk, 6 yards on 3rd and 11. Field goal. No good. I'm telling you, if Talanoa Hufanga hadn't made that play, Niners might have lost this game, and we'd be having a very different conversation. That's why I'm giving all the credit where it's due, but I'm trying to point out this is the same team as last year plus a better defense against a worse Rams team. That's what we're seeing, a better defense. Are we seeing a better offense? No, not yet. Same offense. But the offense wasn't bad last year, and that's good. Is D'Amico better than Saleh? I don't know. I'm not sure that – I don't know. Let's see what D'Amico does in the playoffs. But he might be just as good. Saleh's a head coach right now. He's got 2 wins. I don't know. He might be. They're both excellent. Hold on. Daniel says, no, I love the 3 straight runs. Defense gave up nothing. Play the clock, punt the ball, pin them deep. Nah, they didn't have street. That was a different series, the one I'm talking about. Josh Wyatt says, when Kittle runs a route, the line falls apart. Damn, that sucks. Lorenzo Pinto says, 2 words, Dre Greenlaw, keep 85, what's wrong? I don't know, he runs a lot of routes. He just doesn't get the ball. It's not like he's staying in blocking all the time. Jeffrey says, is Kyle better at picking D coordinators or calling offensive plays? This team's identity doesn't make sense. He's really good at picking defensive coordinators. And the biggest thing in Kyle's favor has been his position coaches. His coaching staff has been phenomenal. Seeing Casey and Tampa, our offense can't keep up. Yeah, but the defense can equalize anything. The defense can keep those guys down. I'm thinking linebacker catch in practice. all week. Yeah, I would think. Pizza, diaper. Donald sniffed out that run on 1st and 10. Yeah, because he was going against Burford. Kittle's blocking because Jimmy needs perfect pot. Got you. All right, last comments and then we're out. Wicked Curse says Rams lost to two teams and barely won against two mediocre teams. They're bad. Not a good team. Not impressed. Not a good team. NFC West is down. Odell met with the 3-1 Giants today. LOL. Yeah, dude, don't waste your time. The Rams are not going anywhere. That's the thing. The Rams made all these moves last year, like these all-in Super Bowl moves. Von Miller. They're not going to the Super Bowl. Why would any vet want to link up with this mediocre outfit? Got you. Hold on. Yup. All right. It's 11:15. I'm done. Time for me to go drive home and go to sleep. Because I got a show tomorrow at 11 with my dad and then a show at 2 with Larry. Back to back. Josh Wyatt says, did Bosa really have 2 sacks and 5 QB hurries? MVP. Yeah, he freaking did. And Samson Ebukam had 2 sacks too. I mean, yeah. And Afunga had a pick 6. I mean, there's a lot of guys who could be MVPs on this team, but Bosa legitimately could be the best defensive player in the league. Why do the Rams still play soft coverage? Because they're overrated. It's like they don't really take the Niners seriously until the playoffs. I don't get it. Kittle getting traded next year. Jennings tied in 1. They extended Kittle's contract. I think it would be hard financially to do it. Anyway, guys, I'm going home. Stop giving me money. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. I'll be back at 11 with my pops and then at 2 with Larry. So a back-to-back. Back-to-back. Then on Wednesday night, I'm flying to upstate New York to go to my best friend's wedding. I'll still be working, but I won't be at practice on Thursday and Friday. I'll be in upstate New York. Then I'm flying to Charlotte on Saturday to cover the game. Then I'm driving to West Virginia to cover the practices in West Virginia. Then I'm driving to Atlanta to cover that game. So I'm only going to be here for a couple more days, and I'm going to be gone for about a week and a half. Grant Cohn travels the country. Where in the world is Grant Cohn, San Diego?